What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Touchdown with Doug Smith. And as we continue our UDFA series, man, I like to say I probably have one of the best UDFA series on the internet. Man, today we got a player, man. I'm really excited to take and talk about him. And by the end of this episode, once you're done hearing about him, his stats, everything he's accomplished, you might just be a believer in Lamareon James, who has a massive chance of making the final roster, okay? Not practice squad, final roster. So, man, let's go ahead and let's get into it. Starting with Lamareon James. So he comes out of TCU. He is a cornerback. And, man, there's a lot to take a celebrate about this young man. So reading this on dogsbynature.com takes and says about him. James was one of the best cornerbacks in the Big 12 in 2024. He had 14 pass deflections, which was tied for second most in FBS last season. Let's stop there. That's pretty dang impressive. I know a lot of people look for pick sixes and forced fumbles. And look, those are very important stats. Interceptions, very important stats. They are. Okay. He doesn't have a whole lot of them, to be honest with you. But you know what he does have? 14 pass deflections, and who is a beast tackler in open field. Let's continue. His overall speed reported in the mid 4.3s at his pro day, and closing bursts have made it easy for him to cover if he overruns cornerback routes and stays in lockstep with receivers on fades. It will be interesting to see if Cleveland wants to use him in the slot, as his skill set might translate better there at the NFL level. At the NFL level. He's a feisty tackler as well, consistently showing the ability to step up and make big stops in the run game. I noticed that, so you'll see that down below in the highlights. He is a beast of a tackler, which I like a lot. Not every cornerback can say they could do that. James could be a shoe-in as a CB6 or cornerback 6 if the team decides to head into the year with more than 5 cornerbacks. Now, that's what the article says. I have a lot of pushback. A lot of pushback. Why do I have a lot of pushback? Well, let's see. Cleveland was ranked 19 overall on defense. So it's, in other words, it's a below average defense. Yes, that's right. Even with Myles Garrett, it's a below average defense. Doesn't have to be that way. Shout out to Myles Garrett. He's an absolute beast. There are other draft picks that I like, and I think Cleveland is heading towards the right trajectory. And hopefully by the end of next year, we know who the freaking starting quarterback is, because, man, we're going to have a good quarterback competition, probably the best in the NFL. Matter of fact, check out my other video that I just did the other day on the Cleveland Browns quarterback competition, man. I think it's, man, if they do a Hard Knocks, you might want to circle back around to Cleveland. That's all I'm going to say. Anywho, so they're ranked number 19. Red zone, they have it's number 24. So that's not good. And then on third down, it's decent. It's number 8. Oh, not decent. It's good. It's a top 10 team on third down. So number 8. That's huge. And I more so credit that to the D-line more than I do to like Denzel Ward. Denzel Ward's a great player. He's the best DB on the team, right? So there's a lot to celebrate about this guy. Now, fun fact, he goes by Scud James. That is his nickname. I don't know how he got that nickname, but that's a pretty cool nickname, Scud James. So 14 pass deflections, only got 1 interception, 27 solo tackles, okay, 35 total tackles. He's 5'10" and 190. Okay, so there's a lot to celebrate about this young man. Let's talk about who the Cleveland Browns currently have on their roster. This is outside of the draft. Okay, it's Chigozie Anusim. Please forgive me if I said his name wrong. Tony Brown, 7th year in the NFL, cornerback. Martin Emerson, 4th year in the NFL, cornerback. Miles Harden, okay, 2nd year in the NFL. And then almost done here, we got Anthony Kendall, very, very, very promising NFL player. Cameron Mitchell, 3rd year in the NFL. Nick Needham, 6th year in the NFL. I'm going to circle back to Nick Needham because I have a lot of info on him. That dude is super dope. And then, of course, Denzel Ward, 8 years, coming out of Ohio State, man. They kept the talent in state. You got to love it. Nick Needham, by the way, I see him getting a roster spot. I know they signed him, if I'm not mistaken, I think February, January, I believe it was. I'm a Dolphins fan. I'm a lifelong Fins fan. I don't deny it. It's rough. That's probably why I get along with Browns fans so much. Probably why you guys are probably 20% of my subscriber base. Nick Needham is a guy who plays like his rent is due. even after taking and having injuries, and he's had quite a few, this dude always bounced back. He's always making some type of pick six or picking up a fumble or forcing a fumble. He is just a key in player. So I see him being probably a cornerback number 5, number 4, maybe. Very, very, very good player. But when I look at the numbers, it's a lot of young guys. Second year in the NFL, third year in the NFL, second year in the NFL. Yeah, I'm looking here. They have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me see here. So they have 3 DBs who've been in the NFL less than 3 years, right? And then they have some older guys. So there's some depth there. But again, I want to look at progress, okay? And how are we progressing the position? No one should feel safe. If your team is not making the playoffs, nobody should feel safe unless it's like a star player who's constantly out there performing, doing what he's supposed to do, right? Nobody should feel safe. So I'm glad they brought in Scud James, Lamareon James. I'm glad they brought him in. Let's talk a little bit about his past, because before being at TCU, he was a honorable mention All Sun Belt Conference in 2023. He did used to play for Old Dominion, okay? Now he's from Norfolk, Virginia originally, but started all 13 games at cornerback and kickoff returner. Okay, so that's some more value that he does take and have with that 4.3 speed, especially has some value that he does bring to the Cleveland Browns. Became the 7th player in FBS history to return an interception, 66 yards, and fumble 80 yards for a touchdown in a game during Old Dominion's 27-24 loss to Wake Forest. Tied for the Sun Belt lead with 4 fumble recoveries. Man, this guy ain't new to this. He's true to this. Placed 6 in ODU with 59 tackles. Received a Phil Steele All-Sun Belt honors as kick returner in 2022. So we're going a little bit back now. And was Conference USA honorable mention in 2021 with 29.4 yard average that ranked 9th nationally, and was one of 2 players in the nation with 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns, and had a 100-yard return against Louisiana Tech, and then became the first player in ODU history to return the game's opening kickoff to score in the Myrtle Beach Bowl versus Tulsa. So, in other words, guys, this dude is a baller, okay? This is a guy who went to a small school, ODU, and turns it up a notch over at TCU. Oftentimes we see people coming from smaller schools and they kind of fall off. They're like, man, they really peaked. They really took and peaked, essentially. So I don't see that being the case for LaMarian. He's coming to a place where it's like, okay, you got some young guys, man, but you could potentially outplay them. He just needs to stay hungry, play the game that he knows how to play. This dude went up against all kinds of great talent. And again, he's one of the best DBs in college football. Now, people, there's going to be a person in the comment section. Why did he take and slide all the way down? Why did he slide all the way down to UDFA? This was a weird draft, y'all. Like a just notoriously weird draft. A lot of things happen. Obviously, we talk Shador, but I've already done that already. So you can just watch the episode. But there was, because this wasn't a really strong draft. At one particular position, it wasn't a strong quarterback draft. It was a decently strong running back draft. It was a decently strong wide receiver draft. It was really strong in the trenches. So O-line, D-line, that was really it. So the teams that did the most amount of homework are really going to thrive, and we're going to see that play out in 7 to 8 months from now when the NFL season is here. We're right in the middle of the year, kind of thing, right? So we're going to be able to take and see that. But anywho, comment below, y'all. Let me know your thoughts. Do you like this Lamareon James pick, aka Scud James? I love it, man. And when I watch his highlight reel, he is east to west, north to south, in your face, punching you in your mouth, man. So very exciting player. Guys, also check out my NFL draft series. I actually had D'Artagnan Tinsley on this show. As a matter of fact, I had him on this show. I had the pleasure of interviewing him before he was at the Hula Bowl. So I even got to connect with him in person. So really good dude. That's another guy I think will also take and make either practice squad or the final 53-man roster for the Cleveland Browns. So check out some of the work I've done in the past. I'll see you guys next time on the Touchdown with Doug Smith. God bless you. Hit that subscribe button, support the channel. That helps me out a whole bunch, and it costs you absolutely no money. So thank you guys. God bless. I'll see y'all next time. Thank you for watching another episode of the Touchdown with Doug Smith, where we have exclusive NFL content and exclusive NFL interviews. Be sure to hit that like and that subscribe button. Follow us on social media. See you on the next one.